be honest, right? Let's be honest, right? I still believe that Daniel Levy will be involved in somehow or other with the property development, still retaining 29% of Enoch. Why would he not be involved in the property aspect and the redevelopment of the offsite? People seem to think he's been sidelined from football, but maybe he will be kept on at doing what he is good at, and that is developing white webs and being involved with the hotel development and the development across the road with the housing. Maybe that is where his skill set will lie and help the club's finances in that respect. No one can.
Sav, I want to come to you, mate. Appreciate that, Johnny. I think you're absolutely bang on. By the way, Johnny. I think that he'll still be involved in the stuff that he's very good at, and I'm more than happy for him to move away from the footballing side. I'm just not going to allow this guy to just portray the history as one directional unipolar blame game. It's a load of bollocks. Savva, talk to me, my man. It's a load of bollocks, mate. It's a load. What you say is a load of absolute bollocks. You talk absolute bollocks all day long. I want to hear some normal common sense
in 25
logic.
years. You're talking bollocks, Sean.
Now, hang on a second. Still, you can have your say in a minute, bro.
I am. I'm saying it now. You're talking bollocks.
Well, ditto, my man. Ditto, bro. Ditto. Ignore all the shit that doesn't suit your narrative and just.
Levy's gone because he's so great. So great that they kept him. Yeah?
The zeitgeist has spoken.
He's gone, Sean. He's gone. He's gone.
Let's talk about your take, mate. What are we doing here, Sav? Come on.
He's gone. Cheerio.
I just hope that. Listen, I think it's the right time. As I said, I think this is the right time. I think it's impossible. Depending on how deep your hatred runs, depends on what your opinion of this window is and who is in charge. Yeah, so for me, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know. I don't. All of these theories are plausible, right? Oh, Daniel Levy messed up with Morgan Gibbs-White, and therefore he was sidelined with a week to go. And if a week to go, they went, right, Simmons and Milani. Sure. Or Daniel Levy was involved in all of them. Or Daniel Levy, this is you've got to remember, and I'll call him out here. I gave him praise earlier. This is the same Lubo that when we were moving from Morgan Gibbs-White, he assured us that Levy was nothing to do with Morgan Gibbs-White, right? And hang on. I've been quiet for a very long time, right? He assured us that Levy had nothing to do with Kudus and Morgan Gibbs-White. This was Vinay. Spurs are moving differently. Now, that's fine. But if you're going to have that energy, you can't then switch that energy back the moment it goes wrong. So for me, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know who is in charge of what. All I know is we've got some good signings in the summer. You know my opinion, Sean. I think we were still left short, but that's obviously not for today. That's for another show. But I think it's very difficult to just say all the good things to somebody else and all the bad things are leaving. That doesn't mean I wanted Levy to stay. I think everyone knows very clearly I was Levy out and I wanted him to leave and I wanted new ownership. But we've also got to be really careful here, right? Because the way that people are singing, we've got our Tottenham back and it's that these people at the moment don't know what the new setup is. Now, they might get exactly what they want. I might get exactly what I want, right? I might get a new owner that comes in now, whether they sell, whether it's a new chairman that comes in and we go, oh my God, in January, we're getting Savio. Do you know what? Not just that, we're going to go and buy, I don't know, I'm trying to think of any good strikers. We're going to go and buy this player, that player. Or we might have a chairman that comes in and runs pretty much the same way Daniel Levy does. And the moment he doesn't get one over the line, everyone's going to lose their minds and goes, oh, it's just like Levy. It's just so. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this all pans out. But for everyone saying we've got our Tottenham back, first of all, had this row with Lubo the other day. What does that mean? We've got our Tottenham back. I don't know what that means. Second of all, let's wait and see when the dust settles. If I try and keep a cool, calm head about it, let's see what does this mean. Like, is Charrington, as I said, is he here to sell it? If Charrington's here to sell it, does that impact the next 2-3 windows while we try and sell it? Does he sell it quickly? Does it, because this will change very quickly, Sean. In January, now it's going to be, right, give us our signings. in January, right now, Levy's gone. Where are our two big signings in January? When that doesn't happen, I'll be interested to see if the energy is still the same. Yeah. You had Lubo last night. I won't go into our private WhatsApp groups, but the Doncaster, all Daniel Levy's fault. Less than 24 hours later, Daniel Levy's not the chairman anymore. So whose fault was that? And this is why I think we've got to be really careful as to blaming one person for everything. I blamed him for many things. I didn't blame him like when Stel blames him for 2 trophies in 25 years. Well, yeah, let's put some blame on some of the managers as well who managed to absolutely mess up in finals and semi-finals. But what I do blame Daniel Levy for, and I do make Lubo right, is there has been many players where you think you could have got that over the line if you wanted to. So for me, I think there's got to be a balance. And as I've got a little bit older and a little bit more wiser to these things, you do realise I can't just turn around and go, one man is the devil. But then when something good happens, it's nothing to do with the devil. That was the angel. And it's like, well, hang on, what? So who's in charge? So I don't know if I've waffled there. Probably people in the chat will tell me I have.
I think you brought a lot of balance there to a heated argument. I think you gave credit to both sides of the coin, mate. So I'll tip my cat to that.
My Vinay.
Johnny's about his CEO. Stel, mate, who was responsible for the window that just happened, mate? Was it one group? Was it the other? Or do you not know?
This is madness. Honestly, I'm sitting here listening to this. This is absolute madness. Savva, you say that you're being balanced and you can't blame one guy, this guy. 2 years ago, I did a YouTube show with you and you sat there going, we've changed stadium, we've changed sponsors, we've changed training ground, we've changed managers, we've changed this, we've changed that. What's the one thing we haven't changed? And you put it all on Levy. Now you're sitting here talking to me about balance and how we can't put it all on him.
So still, how can you put this window on? If we're saying we've made good signings, are we just saying this is what I'm trying to say about balance? So the good signings weren't him, but the failures were him. I'm just trying to work out where we all sit.
I'll explain it. Exactly what you said 2 years ago, which you are now changing your stance from.
No, I haven't. Listen, you're doing this thing you always do. You're doing this thing you always do.
I'm reminding you the things that you said.
I'm talking about this window. Still, it's not 2 years ago.
This window links to what you said, but I haven't been able to finish what I was saying. So this window applies to everything that you said.
Finish your point, Sav. Just let him get his words out.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Refusal. I'll give you first.
Yeah. Go on.
This links to everything Savva said 2 years ago, where he's now claiming to be balanced. He wasn't balanced 2 years ago or last year. The reality is this. This window is like every other window. It's a team of people, Levy, the football director or head of recruitment, and the manager. Between them three, they've got to decide who they sign. Levy will always have the final say because it's his business and he's the one that signs off on the checks. Levy has the final say, but there is input from the people involved in the process, which is the manager to some degree and the football director. But here's the thing. We've changed managers. We've changed football directors. We've changed heads of recruitment. Savva was right 2 years ago. The one thing we've never changed is Levy in the process. So for me, who do you put this window on? Levy deserves at least some praise for the signings because he's part of that team of people. He's always part of the team of people. But this is the only window in 25 years where I, as a fan, come out of and I say, do you know what? That was good in terms of quality that came in. I've never seen us sign 4 good players in one window. I've seen us sign 1, maybe 2, but that's it. Other than if you take Mateus Tell out of this window, it was a good window by our standards. So to answer your question, Sean, it's a layer of people that are behind the signings this summer. Levy's one of them. But what I'll say is this, and I repeat what I said last week. Everyone comes to a point where you're past your sell-by date. Players, managers, and chairman. Levy reached his sell-by date. He's got to go. And Joe Lewis, he's way gone past his sell-by date. He's got to go next. And that's
Sean, can I rebuttal? Sean, let me rebuttal. Hang on. Let me rebuttal. So Stel's doing that thing he normally does. I was talking about balance for this window. I wasn't talking when he's going, 2 years ago. I wasn't talking about 2 years ago. I'm talking about this window. I know we're not allowed to do that, but I'm talking about this window.
We've got our Tottenham
Hang on,
back then. You said a lot.
wait.
Hang on, Stel.
You said a bit more than that.
Stel. No, hang on. No. Stel, come on. No,
You're doing the thing Sean does. You're cherry picking.
No, I'm not cherry picking anything. I was talking about what I was actually doing was talking about Lubo's point to this window was everything shit that happened was Levy, everything good that happened was someone else. And I'm saying I don't feel like in a window like this, it wasn't like it was all shit then all good. Sorry, all shit then all good. If that had been the case, then maybe. But it was like that, this window, wasn't it? With some highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows. So what we can't do is go, right, he was involved with this high, this low, then we went high. But then Levy got back involved and it went low. Then he got kicked out again, it went high. That's my only point. That's not to say, this is the thing, when you do this, Stel, Levy had to go. Hang on.
You do what? You said when you do that.
If you shut up, I'll get there, mate. You keep doing this, man. I'm not. Right?
Do what?
This is my point.
Savva, let him finish his point. Savva, finish your point. Go.
This is my point. I've not once said Daniel Levy didn't have to go. This is what, like, I see people go, Savva's flip-flop. I haven't flipped on anything. Levy needed to go. But the difference is, this is the difference between when people have a conversation and can't understand any balance or nuance, right? Me thinking that he is well past his sell-by date, I've never said he isn't. Me saying that he should go, never said he should stay, right? But that doesn't mean that I can turn around to a window and go, blame you for this, not for this. Blame you for this, not for this. That's my only point with the balance. Lastly, I'll just say this. If somebody on this panel wants to talk about flip-flopping, cool. But it can't be from the guy that called out a manager for being shit for 2 years and then all of a sudden wants to do my manager, women's t-shirt.
As soon as Eze deal falls through,
let me finish. Let me finish.
Because this is.
Let me finish.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Let me finish. Right?
No, because you're lying, Savva.
Stel, wait a minute, mate.
Okay, guys. Can I just say, guys, I'm on holiday in a hotel room. I can't keep shouting. So Stel keeps cutting me off. I will have to jump because I can't. I've got to keep my voice to a level, right?
I'll mute everybody else.
Please, yeah. I've got to keep my voice to a level just for a bit of common courtesy for the hotel rooms around me. I don't understand. I've never said Daniel Levy doesn't need to go. Literally, I never said he doesn't need to go. But when Spurs signed Kudus, I didn't praise anybody else other than Levy. When Spurs didn't get Eze, I blamed Levy, right? So I was consistent with, if you get the praise this summer, you get the hate this summer as well. Like, what I'm saying you can't do is go, Vinay, you get the praise for this one. Levy, you're shit. You didn't get that deal done. But Paratici, you now get the praise for this one. I don't understand. I've said he needed to go. He's well past his sell-by date. He's not fit for purpose for me in 2025 in the market. But that doesn't mean he needs to be berated for every little deal which doesn't work, but can't get praise for every deal that does work. I'm not sure what the big drama is around that. And that's what Lubo does, that Stel will back him for. That's what Lubo does. No offense. That's what he does. It was Vinay is now in charge. My Vinay's in charge. Then when the Morgan Gibbs White deal fell through, he's the first one on the messages going, typical Levy's fucked this up. And you're like, whoa, hang on. You've been adamant it's not Levy. So me saying something nice about Levy doesn't mean 2 years ago I blamed everything on him and want him out. I want him out. I just don't go into the hatred side of it like other people do, like the pure hatred. So I don't see the issue. He's gone. Good. Let's hope the grass is greener. If it's not, let's see where we're gonna target next. But I'm happy he's gone. It's a good day.
Fair enough.
Sean, can I just clarify the timeline here?
Can I respond to that waffle?
Hang on, Stel. Wait a second.
I said that I was told Vinay was in charge. Kudus and Polinia was Vinay. MGW, obviously, I actually said on several platforms that I didn't think Levy was to blame for the MGW. Whatever happened, I don't know. I'd like to know what happened. No, I didn't, Sav. I didn't. I actually would like to.
Luba, I've got what? No, I'm not. Okay.
Wait.
But what we do know is that nothing happened after Morgan Gibbs, right, for a few weeks.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the Eze situation came in. And all of them, Ornstein, Romano, all of them, the newspapers, Sammy Motbell, all of them, Sky News, were all reporting that Levy's in talks with Parish. So after getting through what I was told was Vinay actually running the football side and helping to bring in. I was also told that Frank and Kudos had 2 fabulous meetings, and Frank sold the club brilliantly, which he seems to be doing with these players, which is superb. That's what we want to hear about our manager. Then all of a sudden we hear about Eze, and we all hear that Levy's back in charge and he's running negotiations. And the thing went pear-shaped. So there's your timeline. For me,
your timeline is very much aligned with, like. By the way, I'm not gonna chime in on this one, Lubo. But what you've just said is not the case, mate. I think Savva and I, all 5 of us are in the Spurs 5 WhatsApp group, bro. Like the cherry picking of your narrative of who's responsible for good things and bad things is very clear. I would never share screenshots, mate, but you're talking a load of nonsense about the way that you represented things at the time. You absolutely are. Everybody on the panel, Lubo, you can pretend like much you want, mate, but
that's not pretending at all. Why don't you call me out, Sean, on something that's incorrect?
I'm not. Mate, should we get the screenshots up, mate? I mean, like Savva knows. We were all part of it, mate. We know. We saw. We know the way that you cherry picked accountability, mate.
Mate, this has just become the Savva, Sean, and Johnny show, and Lubo and I are wrong everything we say. This is nonsense.
Johnny hasn't said a word, mate. So
he doesn't have to. He's flip-flop images. This is the guy that went to a protest and says, "I don't want to protest." He's the same guy that started telling us Richarlison's great. Went quiet last week, didn't he? It's a nonsense, man. It's an absolute yeah.
Sorry, is that all you got? Is that all you got? Come at? Is this the guy who supported Ange got to go? Ange, the worst manager ever to manage the club. And suddenly,
And let me rebuttal that. Let me rebuttal that because let's do it. Let me cook. I can cook. I'll speak on it.
Yeah.
I'm the same guy. You don't want to hear the answer. You don't want to hear the answer. I'm the same guy. I'm the same guy that said. I'm the same guy.
1 second. Johnny, finish your point, and then Stel gets his rebuttal to both Savva and you. Johnny, finish your point.
No,
1 second, Stel. I'll mute everybody else when it's your turn to speak. I promise you, Johnny. You've barely spoken, Johnny. So I'll give you a couple of minutes, mate.
Let everybody carry on. But I mean, look, in the flip flop. Come on, Stel, mate. Listen, you know it as well as I do that you were joining in with Ange. I was very vocal about Ange for 18 months. I took the flack, and rightly so. When he won the trophy, okay, I took the flack. I slated him as one of the worst managers to ever manage the club. He won a trophy. I have to give him plaudits for winning the trophy. But I'll not take away the fact that I walked out of 22 games last season in the league, watching us lose, and I watched 34 losing games in 18 months. I never ever changed my stance on him, ever. You, unfortunately, did. As soon as he won that trophy, it was all bets off. He's my guy. And when I wanted my guy, Thomas Frank, who I've watched and loved for a number of years to come into the club, you called it a fraud and a load of crap. And Ange should never have been sacked. Ange should have been there. Well, I disagreed, and I've stayed loyal to myself about Ange and Frank and what was going to happen with Daniel Levy in March, that times were changing. And I'll leave it there.
All right, Stel, it's your show, mate. I'll mute everyone so no one can interrupt you, okay? Say what you want to say.
Yeah, I hope you do mute them. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm muting everyone now.
I said Ange gets a year. He got a year. I said if he signs Werner again, he's got to go. He signed Werner again. I was Ange out for a whole year. I said last season, if this guy wins the Europa Cup, he deserves a chance to stay. I made it very clear. If Ange wins the Europa, he deserves to stay. I never thought he'd win the Europa. I never thought he had it in him. He won the Europa, and I stuck to my word. Unlike people like Savva, who made a bet, I'll get a tattoo if I'm wrong. He's wrong. Where's the tattoo? So don't be calling me a flip-flop. Don't be calling me a flip-flop. And as soon as I changed my stance by sticking to my word, Savva then does a video saying, I'm not a flip-flop. But no one called Savva a flip-flop. So why are you making a video called I'm not a flip-flop? To try and mud me and dig me out and wind up the fan base, which he successfully did. And this, he jumped on it without listening to what I said when I was very, very clear. I will back Ange if he wins the Europa. Not thinking he'd do it. And he did it. I stick to my word, man. Right. As for the protest, Johnny, it's all good and well you going to the protest, being at the front, telling us shuffle to the right, shuffle to the left, taking pictures of us, choreographing it all. Why are you doing that then if you don't think the protests are going to work? And then you come on tonight's show and you sit there telling me protests don't work. Your behaviour last season was the complete opposite to what what you said tonight is the complete opposite to what your behaviour was last season. So for you to call me a flip-flop, you're both flip-flops as well then. Fair's fair, guys. And look, regarding Levy and regarding the change of the board, he is the common denominator. He's been the common denominator for 25 years. He had to go. He's past his sell-by date. I'm glad he's gone. Joe Lewis is next. He's got to go as well, or at least hand it down to his kids, Charlie and Vivian, so they can have a crack at it. And I just want to read you this, Sean, because
Vivian's a Liverpool supporter, isn't she?
Still, the messages so much for being blocked. Tonight, I got a message from a friend of mine. This is off the BBC website, right? And it talks about how Joe Lewis and his family were behind Levy having to step down. And go on the BBC and you guys can read about it. And it clearly says, the Lewis family are aware of some of the supporter discontent, much of it directed at Levy. It has engulfed the club in recent years. And it goes on to talk about it. So the fans did play a part in it. But look, that's me, Sean. I just wanted to rebuttal this nonsense because it's easy to just point the finger at me a flip-flop, but they don't take ownership of what they do and how they flip. Everyone does
Sean, let me.
One second.
No, Johnny, please.
1 second, Savva. I'll let you go. 1 second.
One of you.
Savva, sorry, 1 second. Stel, for your information, mate, I've been to every single fucking demonstration, right? Bar 2, right? That's hardly a fucking flip-flop, is it? Right?
You said tonight the protest had nothing to do with it. So why are you going then?
Yeah, because I said to them, they've done nothing. They've made no difference. All right?
Why are you going, Johnny? Why are you going then?
Because I stopped going because I felt like it
No,
was
not why did you stop? Why were you going then?
Because I thought it would make a difference.
Exactly.
But it didn't.
He just quit. He's gone.
It's nothing to do with it. Come on.
Sean, let me rebuttal one thing. Can I just?
I just
want to rebuttal one thing.
The conch is moving to Savva. Go on, conch.
I find this. If we want to talk about football opinions and flip flop and all that, that's great. But I mean, let's just clarify this tattoo thing. I feel like we really need to, because the fact that Stel's brought this up is so fucking childish. It's unreal. Do you know what? This tattoo comment was a flippant, off the cuff comment in a chat that Jacob and I had. There was no, oh my God, this is a great big bet, a great big bet. There was no bet. I just made a flippant comment off the chat. If Ange wins, I'm going to get a tattoo, right? It was a flippant comment that was then put out there by YouTubers that hate me to make it look like it's this great big massive thing, right? To which I actually even got the fake tattoos, which you've all seen. I got them. But I got so much hate and bile over it that I just went, these people, a bit like Stel's just done there, these people have killed something that was meant to be a bit of a laugh and a joke. They turned it into something that was so not needed that I went, oh, this is ridiculous now. Like, it was meant to be, like, do you remember when Henry did the chili? Do you remember when Henry did the chili? It was all a bit of a laugh and a joke, and he did the chili because it was funny. No one was giving him shit. Literally got videos made about me about, if this guy doesn't get a tattoo, he's the fucking scum. The fact that a member of our own panel is bringing that up shows what an absolute muppet he is.
Me being a flip-flop, that's okay, though. That's not childish.
Stel, do you know why? Because for nearly 2 years you told the world.
You, that's why it's okay.
No, let me finish.
As my flip-flop, you want to make
Stel, wait.
It doesn't work like that, man. Come on.
You can come back. You can come back in, Stel. You can come back in, but there's no point for people that are listening on audio.
You know what, Sean? Do you know what, Sean? This is all now becoming a little bit personal between us when it didn't have to. But I had to hit back
So, guys, I have to be able to.
Guys, we've all subscribed to this. We're all part of the same channel, right? This is what you knew this was going to happen. Let's just keep one at a time. But let's try and keep.
I can't shout. Yeah, I can't shout. I've got to be.
Okay, let's just park the personal stuff, the personal jabs. Then, okay, try and keep it on.
It's not personal, but there's a huge difference between me making a flippant comment that wasn't even a big thing and 2 years worth of opinion. It's very different. If you're going to tell people for 2 years that you don't like a manager, he's the worst manager's ever been, he can't coach, his tactics are terrible, then you have to understand that when that changes all of a sudden overnight, people are going to be like, well, you completely changed. I don't care that you changed. Let me finish. I don't care that you've changed, but it's how it's suddenly gone from he's the worst manager ever, he can't coach, we've got to get a coach in, to then when we do get the coach in, it's not even that you wanted Dan to stay, it's that when we did get the coach in, it was just everything was about belittling the coach that came in that you had said you wanted before.
When have I belittled Frank?
I mean, look, I think everyone's face tells the story.
This is what you try and do. You try and put these ideas in the audience's heads to try and discredit me, which is why you made that video. I don't flip-flop. No one called you a flip-flop. Why did you need to make a flip-flop about you not being a flip-flop? No one said you were, Savva. No one said you were.
Listen, guys.
You know I'm going to stand my ground. I'm just going to sit there and take this from people.
Stel, you know what? Can I just do one thing? Can I just do one thing? Sorry, guys. I just want to do one thing, okay? This has now become less about Tottenham and more about us.